Lesson 4.1, Evaluate Algebraic Expressions. We're going to start a unit about expressions and solving basic little equations. And so let's just include some vocabulary. When you see the word evaluate, it means find the value of. That's just simplifying or solving. Algebraic means that it includes variables. It includes letters or variables in the problem. And expressions are sometimes confused with equations. If it's an expression, there is no equal sign. Equations have an equal sign. So a variable is just a letter which represents a number that can vary. The name variable comes from the fact that it varies. A constant is just a number that can't change. It remains the same, constant. And then an algebraic expression is an expression, remember no equal sign, with at least one variable. That's where the algebra comes from. For our example, we're going to evaluate each expression given that m equals 4, n equals 3, p equals 5, and q equals -2. When we do this, we're going to keep in mind that we follow the order of operations, which is PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract, going from left to right. Problem A, we have 3p minus 2. We will just substitute the value of p in its place. And since this is 3 times p, we're going to use a parenthesis to show that it's multiplying. So I have substituted the value of p, 5. Now I'm going to follow the order of operations. I have multiplying and subtracting. So I'm going to multiply and then I'm going to subtract. 3 times 5 is 15 minus 2, and 15 minus 2 is 13. B part, we have m divided by 2 plus m. So I substitute m with 4, and we got 4 divided by 2 plus 4. And following the order of operations, we have dividing and we have adding. So we're going to divide before we add. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, then 2 plus 4 is 6. Our next expression is 6q squared plus 2q. So we've substituted -2 in place of q, and notice that we have multiplying, we have an exponent, we have adding, and we have multiplying again. So looking through my PEMDAS, the first thing I've got is an exponent. So I'm going to evaluate the exponent, bring down this 6, and -2 squared means -2 times itself. A -2 times a -2 is a +4. And then I'm just going to bring down this 2 times -2. Now we have multiplying and adding left. So we have multiplying and we have adding. Multiplying comes first from left to right. So 6 times 4 is 24. 2 times -2 is -4. And then 24 minus 4 is 20. As we work more with negative signs and subtraction signs and expressions and equations, I do want you to realize that a subtraction sign can be interpreted the same as a negative sign when we're dealing with these in algebra problems. In D part, we have 3 divided by n plus 2m. So we have dividing, adding, and multiplying. Okay, so we work these from left to right, but multiplying and dividing are actually on the same step, so we just work those in order from left to right in our problem. Since the dividing and multiplying parts are actually separated by an adding step, it really won't matter in this problem. But I'm going to go ahead and divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 2 times 4 is +8. And and then we add 1 plus 8 is 9. E part, we have negative 5p minus 8 times the group q plus m. And this one's got different variables in the problem, but we're just substituting them using what we're given. So we've substituted our variables. And we could see this, since we have some parentheses within a parenthesis, we could see it written that way. Or instead of having an outer parenthesis, we could use brackets. Those are just replacing an outer parenthesis. They work the same way. So we're going to continue by simplifying this expression using PEMDAS, order of operations. So there are several things going on here. So I'm just going to look at my list and see that going left to right, the first thing I would check for is parentheses. And I do have a group within a parenthesis or a bracket. I have negative 2 plus 4. So I'm just going to add those. Negative 2 plus 4, they have different signs. So I actually subtract and take the sign of the larger number, which would be a positive 2. And so that right side simplified down. Now we have multiplying and we have subtracting. So in order of operations, I would multiply before I would do any adding or subtracting. So negative 5 times positive 5 is a negative 25. Negative 8 times positive 2 is a negative 16. And now I'm subtracting. Negative 25 minus 16. I could rewrite this as negative 25 plus a negative 16, or I could recognize them both as negatives and just keep it, combine them and keep a negative, which would be negative 41.